Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the news. We're going to try to do this solo today. Fernando he's not here. He's out enjoying his son's kindergarten graduation. But before we get into news, let's check out the weather. This is definitely going to be a lot of fun trying to get all of this to work right. Today it is here in Florida. It is not sunny. It's raining. Kind of drizzle, a little light drizzle with a 81. High is going to be, looks like 84. Yeah. Looks like we have rain for the rest of the week. Oh, damn. It's just going to be terrible. But checking in the rest of you guys, negative 3 dB chiming in. South Carolina is 91, humid. Yes, everyone's weather, Vermont, 50 with sun, thank God. 92 in Tennessee, 80 in Central Kentucky, and we have, it's going to be hitting 93 in North Carolina. Washington, sunny and 33. That's kind of funny. All right, why isn't this working? All right, here we go. Pacific Northwest, 53. Wowzer. Yeah, it's that time again. Yes, it is. Springfield, Massachusetts, checking in at 52 with a high of 78. You guys get great mornings, man. That's awesome. We don't get, it's just temperature. I mean, not complaining. It's just funny that temperature here just kind of like stays the same all day long. So if it's 90, if it gets to 90, which I think we have at least another couple days before we start to see that all the time. It'll only get down to if it's 92, then it'll be 89 at 4 in the morning. It's we don't get these huge temperature swings that you guys get, which hey, it's happens. I know it's not gonna. We'll make it work. 37 in northern Colorado with sleet. 77 in Orlando. There you go, Christian. Florida, hot and rainy. I don't know, man. It's our humidity does suck, but I'll take it. I'll take, because the nice thing about our weather is you can just kind of plan for it. It's going to be what it is, and it's always going to be the same. And it's just boom, here you go. So, we just know to deal with it. Starting out at 70 in the morning or 50 in the morning and going up to 70 to 90 in the afternoon. Oh my gosh, I don't know how you guys can deal with that crap. 71 degrees in Chicago. Ready to get back to Nebraska. There you go. 78, super cloudy across the skyway. Man, 90, it's supposed to be 90, and 100 in Texas. Oh, here we go. There it is, 100 in Texas. I don't doubt it. Let's see what we got here. Well, all right, what does it say? I was looking at the Alpine video, Dean, and that was an emotional rendition of Posse on Broadway. Hey, from Cape Town. I'm so acclimated. When no humidity, I feel cold. I mean, and dry. You feel like it's a bad episode of SpongeBob. Yeah, snow in Idaho. I mean, I don't know what to tell you guys. Oh my gosh. All right, back to the news, or let's get going with the news, I should say. There's one of the things when we decided to do this news show is we kind of knew that there wasn't going to be always a ton of news, but it is and it isn't. Like there's news, there's okay news, but it was one of those things where it's like we really wanted to do it because it's just it's fun, and it kind of fills in the cracks and keeps everyone up to date. I didn't mean to do that. Let's do this. All right, so there we go. That's what we were looking for. So for those of you guys who haven't heard of, I'm gonna butcher this name just because it's a bug here, Quesadid, and I've never been able to say it right. So launches new motorcycle audio line. This is a product for those of you guys that are fans of audio. You may know Larry Frederick. He's worked for many companies over the years. Before this, he was the prime guy behind the Diamond line that had just come out. He decided to go off on his own and go after motorcycle audio, or he calls it motorcycle audio. The company has expanded rapidly on the heels of the growing popular interest in motorcycle audio since it has launched about 6 months ago. And he's decided to come out with this new line of amplifiers. Previous to this, he has smaller amplifiers with DSPs built into them. Really super cool. Haven't had a chance to work on them yet, but it's definitely on my list of things I'd like to play with. The new line was called Big Damn Amp. So that's Big Damn Amp, because he's an old guy. He's a throwback, so he's going to do things like that, where we used to, try to come up with cool names for things. So Big Damn Amp, or BDA. We're going to have a couple amplifiers in this lineup, a 4x350 at 2 ohm, which is going to be 4x225 at 4 ohm, a 900.4, which is 4 times 900 watts, I guess. Yeah. So I'm guessing there's going to be a 2 ohm or 4 ohm rating. A BDA 2200.4, which is 4 times 550, plus a BDA 2500.1 mono block will follow up. Of course, he still has the DSP amplifiers, which include an 8-channel DSP processor built in with Bluetooth. He's got a lot of stuff going on. So reading into the article, hold on, let me find it here. There was a whole, I like to read this. This is a statement from the article. It says, cars as we know it are getting better and better and difficult to update. If you are going to update the car factory audio system, it's a serious update other than a simple powered subwoofer. Motorcycle audio is still uncharted waters. You have tons of interest. Frederick said, noting that the installs are less complicated on a bike. So the statement itself is really kind of like, I'm all, new product news, yay. But the statement itself is the thing that kind of throws me. Like, I get it. It's 100% true. But I also look at it and it's like, just because something's hard doesn't mean that you shouldn't be doing it. So he's going after low-hanging fruit at this point, where it's like, and again, there's nothing wrong with this. It's just purely an observational statement that what he said there, it's like, okay, so stop doing car audio because it's hard. Let's just stick with what's easy and continue to make money. And at some point, motorcycles are going to catch up. I mean, for the most part, they are. I mean, Harley radios need to be reflashed in order to put amplifiers in them because they have EQs and tunes and stuff like that are done to them. I don't see it as getting any easier to do. I see motorcycles as probably getting harder to do as time goes on, just because of the power requirements and things that are going to happen in that world. They're way faster to catch up to where cars are than anything else. But I get it that, basically what this is finally somebody saying, hey man, cars are hard. We're going to step away from those. Let's just concentrate on easy stuff. Whatever. I get it. I just, that statement just kind of like threw me a little bit. I was like, that's a different thought process. I mean, it's something that we all knew, but I don't know. It was just weird to hear him say it. Oh, hold on. Not that one. This is going to take a minute working all the controls here. Best Buy news. I mean, when you see a title like that, you got to kind of read deep into it. And so this week, Best Buy said it will double the number of its open box outlet stores over the next year. We've been exploring what that means for car audio. Apparently, Best Buy has some open box deals. I like to think of it as like, for those of you guys that have outlet malls, you have like the Nike outlet and all, all these outlets that are supposed to, I don't know what it is, but you put outlet in front of something and then automatically everyone assumes it's going to be a cheaper place to go buy this stuff. So Best Buy, I guess, is jumping on this bandwagon. I mean, they've tried everything at this point. Why not do this? Apparently, it's kind of working for them at the moment, so go for it. But what the story is basically about is that obviously we know anyone that has ever stepped foot into a Best Buy, depending on where you live, the car audio section keeps shrinking. And in some cases, they don't even offer installation anymore. So what they were talking about doing is taking these locations and turning them into hubs so that if there is, like, let's say an area where there's 4 or 5 Best Buys in the area, they send you to this hub where the installation facility is located. They're kind of toying with this idea. They haven't done it yet. What's up, Lewis? And the idea there is that, you could still offer installation. You're just not doing it at the retail side of things. And the funny thing is that's how this location started for 5-Star, because before I started here, he had an outside installation company that he would sell the stuff here and then send them off to have stuff installed at a different location off premises. And that was a disaster in that location, because they weren't 5-Star. They were something else, was trying to upsell and talk people out of, and they had their own agenda of what things were going to be. So it started to have a conflicting thing. Not that would happen there, because it's Best Buy. It's Best Buy selling, it's Best Buy installing. But the biggest complaint and why he opened this facility was that people didn't want to drive someplace else. They just wanted to come to where they know. They didn't, like, they'd come to the retail store if they had a problem. And it was just this weird situation going on. So it would be interesting to see if Best Buy can get this to work. Yeah, for your install, I got to drive 120 miles. And that was my thing. It's like in this area here, I know there's, like in Pinellas County where we live, which is a pretty populated area, I believe there's 2 Best Buy, and then there's a couple out in Tampa, which is probably 2 more there. But yeah, there is no like central location anywhere around here where you could, I mean, you're going to drive a half hour, 45 minutes, or an hour, which really isn't like you're actually driving the distance that it takes an hour to do that. It's just traffic here sucks really bad, because there's like water and stuff you have to go over. Chris chiming in, who does work at Best Buy. It's getting smaller and a lot of dark bays. Yes, it is. I would be putting together that resume, Chris. You're a talented installer, and I'm sure there'd be somebody that would love to have you. I have to drive 45 miles to find the first traffic light. Yeah, so this wouldn't help you. And there again, I think this is something that Best Buy would be doing in the more populated areas, somewhere like this. But there again, and you don't want to $4.50 a gallon for a free install. Yeah, #1 in the district. Yeah, and there you go. Hey, man, and I'll see you shortly, and when we go to Knowledgefest. And speaking of Knowledgefest, let's head over to the next slide. Back to new product news. Pardon me. Audison's new product launch at Knowledgefest. I like this idea that we've had some manufacturers, it has timed it out just right to where they could do new product launches at Knowledgefest. Last year in this same Knowledgefest is when Sony introduced the new mobile ES, which we, of course, got the opportunity to live stream the whole introduction. So you guys got to see that, which I thought was pretty cool. Alpine this year, of course, unveiled, which you guys just got to see, the F1 status car at Knowledgefest in Vegas at the beginning of the year. So it's nice when these manufacturers try to team up a product release with some form of a show. Because CES, Consumer Electronics Show, it doesn't really exist for car audio anymore. SEMA's been kind of the show where everyone has released, and talked about new products and stuff like that because it's a big audience. But the problem with that is, like, it's not always the audience you want. When you go to something like a Knowledgefest or something that is specifically geared towards car audio, maybe a Master Tech Expo or something like that, then you're guaranteed that the crowd is your base. Whereas it's something like a SEMA or a CES, the crowd necessarily doesn't care about car audio. So it's cool that Audison or Electromedia for that is going to do this. Special guest Ken Ward of Electromedia Italy is hosting 2 Audison product training launches events at K-Fest Orlando. We don't want to ruin the surprise, but these new products will be a key part of our business in the very near future, and learn more about them. For anyone that is going to Knowledgefest, our product introduction is at 3 p.m. Friday. After it ends, the show floor opens at 4:30, and you can touch and hear products in the Electromedia booth. See below for reservations. Technical training and in-depth training session at 6:30 p.m. Saturday. Dinner and open bar will be provided. See below for reservations. So that is kind of like all seats must be reserved at booth events. So there you go. If you are going to Knowledgefest and this is something you're interested in, make sure that you get the appropriate invitations in place. I can tell you I'm excited for them because there are some new amplifiers that will hopefully get them up to speed with where a lot of the industry is. Forza was a great product launch back in the day, but I say that back in the day because it has been a while since Audison has brought anything new to the table. Hertz has been a main focus of the line for a pretty long time now because they're, again, motorcycles and loudspeakers and marine have all fallen into the Hertz lineup, and Audison has just kind of been swimming behind it in its wake, which is a shame. But we'll see. We'll see what they come out with, and we're pretty excited. Dean, have you ever thought of adding a 3rd installer to train, say, and someone left a Best Buy and wanted to grow? The problem is more square footage than anything when it comes to something like that. Like Fernando and I pretty much tap out the real estate in this install bay. If you ever get the opportunity to come see us, you'll see how small this bay actually is. I mean, my garage at home, I think, is bigger than this, and I have a small garage. So there's really not enough room to entertain a 3rd person. I would love to, but at the current facility we're at, that is just unfortunately not a reality that we get to play with. Wow. Oh, one more thing I almost forgot. Let's go to here and switch to the laptop. All right, we'll come and do this. Turn me back on. One of the things that AMP Global has been doing quietly in the background, and I mean quietly in the background, and they've not bothered to tell anybody, which, I get. No, I don't. This is one of the things that we had talked to them about many, many years ago, and apparently finally someone there and came up with their own idea themselves, and we're like, hey, we should do this, and we have T-harnesses. So over the last 6 months, AMP Global has been quietly releasing new T-harnesses and a staggered release. Not the smartest thing to do, but I get it. So they have been releasing like 4 at a time because apparently that's all we can handle. I don't think they quite understand the concept of how T-harnesses work and when and why we need them. But this go around, we got some American T-harnesses. Pretty excited about this. Now, these may or may not be available and or shipping yet, but they've been announced, which is great. But we have the Ford T-harness that we've desperately needed because the competitor has stopped selling T-harnesses as standalone. So we now have the LPH FD21 and the LPH FD31. The 31 is that new Ford harness that if you have the newer vehicles, the Expeditions, the S150s and stuff like that, this will directly plug into it and give you your 4-channel in, 4-channel out. So these are the non-amplified, of course. So that is pretty awesome. We also now have 2 GM harnesses. So we have the GM31 and the GM52. That GM51, just stock the shit out of that if you're going to, if you're a retailer, because that harness is a universal harness for a lot of other cars other than just GM. Like Volvo uses that. Like years ago when we did the Volvo radio replace, that's the harness that we couldn't get any more of because that company went out of business. But so now we have the T harnesses for GM. Moving down, we have the T harnesses for non-amplified Infiniti, Nissan, Subaru. Basically, this Altima that's right here, this is the harness that it would require in order to put the radio on this. Luckily for us, iData also makes a harness, and we were able to use that. And then you have the CH21, which is a Chrysler adapter. Now, there are already harnesses that they make. These are just the most recent 6 that they're deciding to let us know about. So if you're going to be doing any form of installation, then definitely now you can go to pack-audio.com to check and see if they list a T harness for your car. There you go. Chris is chiming in. I'm booked out over a month on the install bay. Best Buy. There you go. That's awesome. Yeah, so, dude, we got a great location. It is too small, but right now trying to find a place in this current world and the way it is, probably not the best idea. You know, you don't want to get killed on rent just because everyone has this unrealistic expectation of what real estate is going for. Perhaps logistics has been the reason they aren't releasing a bunch. There again, the price of copper, as you guys know, is through the roof. Whether it be logistics, whether it be whatever you want, you have to remember that these companies make hundreds of harnesses. 4 to 6 more is not really a big deal, but there again, they have their reasons. I don't care what they are. All I get to do is sit here, and because it's a news show, we get to speculate and say, hey, maybe this is the reason. It doesn't matter. The good news is, regardless of all of that, they're making T harnesses, and that's really the reality of it, is that we finally have more T harnesses. Now, the reason for the T harnesses up until this date were going to be for the new Lock Pro Advanced that they had come out with. I don't know how long this product is going to last in the market now that PAC owns AudioControl. And really, this was a competitor for the AudioControl LCs. And the LC, you know, the LC2i, LC2i Pro, LC1i, Epicenter Micro, LC7i, LC8i, LC6i are obviously way like they are the benchmark high-level to low-level adapter. Plus, you have the 2 DSPs, the DM608, the DM810, that are now falling under the umbrella of PAC Audio. So, you know, how long these things stay in the line, I'm sure they have some in the warehouse that they need to move it along. Why did Metro stop offering standalone T harnesses? You know, that is a question that I've asked them in the past, and I've never been able to get a definitive answer for it. I have a personal thought on that, and this is just purely speculative. I feel like they wanted to sell more DSPs, and they were obviously selling more harnesses, and people were just sidestepping the DSP. That's just a guess. That's there again. I don't know their reason for it. Could have been supply chain issues. It could have been, you know, they couldn't get the cardboard boxes anymore. I don't know. But yeah, it was one of those things where it's like they offered a really cool product and then they took it away. And I'm sure they had their reasons. Dude, you're not wrong. Real estate is stupid expensive. It is here too. I mean, it is really ridiculous. And so to try to move out of a place like this right now into a bigger facility wouldn't make sense. I mean, yes, we could definitely use the space. Hell, the retail side alone is outgrown its space 10 times over. You could definitely, if you've ever been to the retail side of things here, it's like you have no room to move. It is packed. Price just loves doing that. Yeah, you know, Hey, you know what? We don't even have to worry about it anymore because Amp's finally doing it. So we have, I mean, I look at it like this: between iData's T harnesses with the A series and D series ART harnesses, as well as everything that AMP Global is making now, we're almost there. I know we're still waiting for the Honda one. There's a fly again. I know we're still waiting for Honda because everyone, it's like we need that Honda one, and PAC is going to make the Honda harness. I don't know when, so stay tuned there. We'll be okay. It'll have it. So. And then also too, you have to remember now that PAC does own AudioControl, making T harnesses. They had already started doing that, and now they have a more pressing need to make it because of the integration side of AudioControl. That's what they're known for. So there's no reason why they would want to stop making T harnesses and more T harnesses and universal T harnesses and amp bypasses and stuff like that. The problem is keeping track of all of it. Obviously, having it all in one space makes life easy for us all, but this isn't going to be an easy thing. What's it say? Yep, my customer bought his home for $400K 2 years ago, and he said he's selling it for $810. People just don't understand. Dan, that is terrible. Great show, but need more Fernando. Hey man, I need him here too. But I also feel it's more important for him to see his kid graduate from kindergarten. As a parent, myself, and a lot of you guys are parents, those are things you just don't want to miss. And missing it for this news show, as important as we know this is for a lot of you, really doesn't hold a candle to kindergarten graduation. I mean, that's like memories you will have for a lifetime, and you kind of need that. Wait, what? When did PAC buy AudioControl? The deal was sealed on April 1st, Chris. I know everyone thought it was kind of a April Fool's Day joke, but no, April 1st was the day that AudioControl announced it was bought by PAC. Since then, a couple of things have changed. A lot of the sales distribution for AudioControl is now being moved into AMP Global. So like outside sales reps, some of them, not all, but a majority of them there's no longer an external sales rep force for AudioControl. It has been moved into AMP Global. So in some areas where the areas are big, like Texas, California, stuff like that, there are still outside sales reps. But for the most part, they've been moved into internal, along with the Phantoms that AMP has. We'll be selling the AudioControl brand. Alex, who was the owner president of AudioControl, is now president of AMP's audio division. So he's taken over all of the audio side of things, which there's a huge portion of AMP Global that falls under. So he is now, I'm sure it's like vice president or president. He's the guy in charge of that. He's taken over that, and they're staying up in Washington. There's no plans to move them out of Washington. There are plans to find a bigger facility for them to work out of, just so that they can open a distribution center in Washington for AMP Global, so they can have a warehouse for regular AMP Global stuff. So there's talks of that. And then, of course, there's talks of new products that are coming out. A lot of new products are coming out. That's one of the things. No, Haley's in bed, man. She ain't getting up for nothing. You're funny. There are a bunch of new product lines that are going to happen. There are some products that are going to be turned into AudioControl products. I pushed for like these T harnesses to just turn into AudioControl products. I think that would be a good move to do that. And what's up, Brian? But yeah, so over the next 2 to 3 years, AudioControl is definitely going to have a sweeping change as far as the amount of stuff that they're going to have access to. So that is going to be really cool. Yeah, we're under NDA with it, so there's a lot of things we know that we can't talk about. All I can say is that it's really exciting, and if everything they're talking about moves along the way it's supposed to, we're going to see some really, really cool stuff coming out of AudioControl that we're super excited about. And of course, we have a very small part in helping them come up with the ideas in order to move the product line forward. So when it was announced, we had a bunch of meetings with them, and it was a lot of fun. So they want to take us along for the ride, which means you guys get to come. So that is pretty awesome. And that, my friends, is the news. Thank you guys so much for spending your Friday at night, Friday morning with us. We do this every Friday at 9 o'clock. Normally, my partner Fernando is here. However, today, like I said, kindergarten graduation. Woo, big steps, making moves. He's going to be graduating from high school before we know it. And I don't even want to think about how old I'll be when that happens. So, yuck. Ugh. Anyways, don't forget, you guys can tune in daily on Instagram with the 5 Minutes of 5-Star Show, where we talk about what's happening in Install Bay and, of course, try to answer some questions about, the regular things. It's a good place to get question answers. Monday is the Facebook show. Saturday, tomorrow at 6 o'clock is the YouTube live show. Definitely the most fun show we do, where we take and machine gun through as many questions as we can, trying to help as much stuff as we possibly can do. That is a great place to get question answered. The news, of course, is the news, so we don't take them on this show. Thanks for watching, guys. You have a great day. Fade to black.